Yeah, hi, welcome. Let's talk about advising, but not the actual face-to-face advising. Let's talk about marketing of customers, clients, call them what you like. I suppose, strictly speaking, a customer is not a customer until they're a client, but anyway, such is life. Now, as you know, of course, the new retirement interest-only mortgage has just been launched. Well, it's been launched for a while now, but of course, it's all about, we're talking about RIO here, aren't we? The retirement interest-only mortgage has been allowed by the FCA to be advised by general run-of-the-mill financial advisors, mortgage brokers. Now that always reminds me, of course, of the song Duran Duran. My name is Rio. I think that's I sail across the land. I think the lyrics went. Introduced or released in May 1982. If any of you can remember your history, and the album went to #2 in the UK charts, #1 in America as well. Now, the point is, though, okay, Rio is a bit of a connection, but I'm going to whiz back to 1982. And if you were advising on mortgages then, how would you get customers? Well, you'd have a branch somewhere, wouldn't you? You'd have posters in the branch. You'd have a whole load of leaflets. You'd have the yellow pages or the telephone book to make calls to people on a cold basis. And people answered the phone in those days, if you remember. You'll have a call centre if you're a big company, and you'll use the post. And that's how we tended to market. But nowadays, of course, that's completely different. And if we go now to 2018, which is today, or this year, how do mortgage advisors market a particularly new product? And I'll tell you how to do it because I was doing some research. I'm interested myself in a retirement interest-only mortgage to purchase a property. It suits me down to the ground, and I talked to my broker. So where do I start then when I want to find out about this kind of mortgage? Well, obviously I know about it because I teach the topic, but I'm not really in with the market to see who's who. So I contacted my broker. So the first thing, of course, I'm going to be doing is I've got my mortgage broker. And a good mortgage broker will take all the hassle away for you. And he's doing that right now. But I'm interested to find out. So, of course, what do? In the modern world, I Google. I Google retirement interest-only mortgages or interest-only mortgages into retirement. Those are the words that I use on Google. Now, this is something you'll want to think about doing because a couple of companies, very clever companies, have picked this up and they know that's what people are doing. This is the buying process, you see, that consumers go through. So as I went on to Google, obviously I put into the search box there, retirement interest-only mortgages. And of course, as you can appreciate, your search box reveals a number of searches, usually newspaper articles, that sort of thing. They dominate the first page. A big lender might be there as well. So small brokers very rarely will get anywhere near the top of the first page. So one particular company called Viva Retirement Solutions, they're called. They're trading as, and they're just a very straightforward appointed representative. So they're a small firm, could be one or two people in that firm. Now, Viva have bought AdWords. Now, AdWords, as you're probably aware, is where you pay Google some money for every time somebody clicks on your advert and goes to your website. And you specify key terms, don't you? And this one's probably retirement interest-only mortgage. At the moment, they're probably quite cheap, but they're getting more and more expensive. So you could be paying Google a couple of pounds each click that the customer does. And obviously, I clicked on it because they were quite high up the top. It was an advert, it did say ADV on it, so I knew it was an advert. And I went to their homepage. And this is where it kind of went really a bit wrong, really. Now, what I like to call it is the splash page. Remember the mission to the moon, rockets to the moon, or back in the 70s it was. And when they came down from the sky, they floated down in a parachute and they splashed down, didn't they? So we call it a splash page. What should be happening here, and I'll squeeze this in over here, you should have a page devoted to where your customer goes when they hit the advert. And that page must somehow draw them into giving you their email address. And then they give you your email address and then you put them on your database and you can start marketing. So this is where the guys went quite wrong, really. First of all, it was their homepage of their normal website, which was fine. Did it give me information I wanted? Not really. It told me about the benefits of retirement interest-only mortgage, but nothing else. Then it said, contact us for more details, which is fair enough. I get that. But I wanted a more compelling reason to put my email address down to this broker. So they would contact me. They weren't offering me anything. I would have written something like a white paper on retirement interest-only mortgages, or the options available, or the benefits, or something. And if I put my email address down, then they would have given me that as a PDF, as a freebie. So that's the splash page. That's all it is, really. Once you get their email address, then you can start marketing to them, giving them more information. But I would say though, if you're enticing people onto your website, make sure it has a ton of information, because people want to research. That's the point. They don't want to go buying from you. They don't really want you nowadays. They want to research it themselves, particularly the younger generation. So put a load of information on their videos, audios, writing, whatever it is. Because half the time they will come back to you anyway, because they can't access the best lending anyway. You do that as a broker. So that's really what I'm saying. Don't be afraid of doing the splash page. So RIO then, of course, back in 1982, the other thing, of course, we used back in 1982 was the fax machine. Do you remember the fax machine? Faxes were ubiquitous in 1982. I remember using them in the building society where I worked. And they're having a bit of a comeback now, actually. People are using fax machines to contact people, particularly B2B. Still, so many people have fax machines in their offices or in the corner gathering dust. So send a fax to somebody and you'll be surprised. Somebody will pick it up quickly and respond. So it's not a bad little method to use. So there we are. I hope that's been of use to you when you start marketing.